Great afternoon, everyone. This is your friend, this is your brother, the messenger, the prophet, the disciple, Andrew J. Jones of Living Harvest Assemblies. And in and on today, on this Let It Shine Sunday on Hot Mix VA Radio, it is a word to encourage you. If you have an ear to hear, it is a word to impact you. Encourage you, impact you, to instruct you where you can live a life of abundance, the life and authority of the Almighty. And one of the main key things that he wants us to know is establishing and building a strong covenant relationship with him. And in this covenant relationship with him and in him, he allows his ruach, which means his spirit, to be the substance of strength in our life. So I'm excited about today's message on this Let It Shine Sunday on Hot Mix VA Radio. And if you have a question or a concern or a comment, you can call in at 804-856-1988. That is area code 804-856-1988 on this station right here. Now, before we get started, I want to have a petition of prayer. And this session and this show, I like to hear some feedback. So if you're watching or if you have shared this, call in with a question or a comment. If it's something that you don't understand that's being said or addressed or by definition or a date, call in and we can discuss the matter. Because the scripture, let it be truly made known that in all thy getting, get a understanding, for it will lead and guide thee. So let's have a word of prayer. Father Yahuwah, the Elohim, we thank you for another day of your liberty, another day where we delight our heart, mind, and soul into you. We forget the things that once was and we press forward in you. Father, I speak right now that every man, every woman that's watching, that their ear, that their heart, their mind, listen to the words that apply every great thing that you have implied for them. If they choose you, if they abide in your word of truth, and if they walk in your will and in your way. This session, this radio wave, we give to you. In the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach, it is so, and so it be. Amen. Once again, this is Living Harvest Assemblies on Let It Shine Sunday. And first and foremost, I'd like to give honor and respect to my wife, to the elders that support me, to the pastors that support me, to the evangelists that support me, my family and my friends. And those who not just support me, but support the things of truth, who want to take heed to learn the truth, walk in the truth, and apply it. Not for form, not for fashion, not for filthy lucre, not to be made well known, but for his word of truth to be established and made known. And what the Father, Yahuwah, the Elohim, has given me on an assignment for this day to everyone is, forget the things of the past. A lot of times people focus their heart and their mind and their soul on something of the past. Choose him. So we're going to get right into scripture. All right. Now, the first text that we're going to be coming from is Isaiah chapter 5, text 3. We're going to start there. Isaiah chapter 55, text 3. And here is the messenger, the prophet, Isaiah. He's given an instruction to give to people, to exhort people, and for people to have an understanding. Now, take this right here. It says, incline your ear and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live. And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Once again, see, when we have a listening ear to hear him and take heed to the Almighty, he gives us what? He establishes our thoughts, which is indicated in Proverbs 16, text 1 through 4. But when we go down To text 8 of Isaiah 55, it gives us an indication where it records, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith Yahuwah. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Text 11, let's go down to text 11. So shall my word be that goeth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that in which I please. It shall prosper thing whereto I send it. What it is saying, when we have a hearing ear and a humble heart to hear the instructions and obey the instructions and walk in the, incline your ear and come unto me. See, we all have to come unto the Almighty. You can live on your own if you want, but when you live in Him, it's an abundance of peace, it's abundance of power, it's abundance of prevailing, it's abundance of protection, because when we come unto Him, it's His shalom that gives us a substance of strength, and He causes us to be one. And it records, and all thy children shall be taught of Yahuwah, and great shall be the peace of thy children. In righteousness shall thou be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression, for thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee. See, when we incline our ear and our heart unto Him, we don't have to worry about the terror and the things of the world. We be what? Satisfied with the abundantly of peace. And in that peace is a power, is a provisions that He set where we be able to walk and hear from Him. And then as in that thoughts that we receive from Him, He strengthens us. Let's go to Telehim, which is Psalm 146, text 8. Now, when we have a hearing ear and we incline our ears of peace, we don't have to worry about the terror, because we are becoming the incorruptible seed by obedience. Now, in Telehim, which means Psalm 146, text 8, it records right here. Let's go there. Yahuwah, some people say the Lord, but the correct is Yahuwah, openeth, I hear you, Father, the eyes of the blind. Yahuwah raises them that are bowed down. Yahuwah loveth the righteousness. So whatever state that you might be in of depression, oppression, He comes in and brings about a healing. But the key factor is having an opening ear unto Him and having an opening heart unto Him. See, when the heart is loose unto Him, to welcome Him in your heart, then He comes in and replaces the heart of stone with the heart of peace, the heart of purpose, and the heart of power to be able to apply the things that He has for you. Now, as it gives an indication in Exodus, let's go there real quick. Exodus 31, text 6. Let's go there. Bear with me while I get that particular text. Is it Exodus 31? Now, in this text it says, and I behold, I have given with him Oholabad, the son of Ahisamach, and of the tribe of Dan, and in the hearts of all that are wise-hearted. I have what? Put wisdom, that they may make all that I have commanded thee. So He makes wisdom within us. He opens our eyes. He places wisdom in us. But the key principle that the Almighty wants us to know, in this world that we're living in, is some things that we have to let go of. We have to forget the things of the past. We have to forget the things that hurted us. We have to forget the things that have caused bitterness, jealousy, and malice, because when you have a place in Him, a place of deliverance, because the scripture says who the Son sets free is free indeed, and in that freedom of Him, you become faithful to Him. You become a faithful servant. And whatever He speaks to you, He establishes Ruach in you that you can speak life-filled words. And in that life-filled words, you'll be able to live in the abundance of peace. He wants us to know these things. Let's go quickly to Psalm 119, text 165. Psalm 119, text 165. And it records, great shalom have they which love thy Torah, and nothing shall offend them. My brothers and sisters, when our eyes are open and our ears are inclined to the word, which means the things, the sayings or the instructions of the Torah, he opens our eyes where we no longer be blind and we can walk on that path of righteousness, because he loved the righteous ones, and you shift from righteous to righteousness because of him. And in that you have a border of peace, a border of protection. What are you saying, Apostle? What I'm saying, what the Almighty wants us to know. And indeed means is a vow of a trust. We trust in him and he trusts in us. So it places the fullness and the fineness of wheat in us, that we can be his ambassadors in his royal priesthood. Now let's look at Psalm 119, text 140. It gives the indication, thy word, what is the word? Thy word, every word that he spoke, the word that we had the ability to incline our ear unto him. It says, thy word is very pure, therefore thy servant loveth it. When we love his word, the word of truth, the doctrine of truth, according to Daniel 10, text 21, when we love the truth is what sets us free. The truth is what causes us to prevail. The truth is what gives us peace around our borders. The truth is what calls you to walk in the light as a seed of light. The truth of the word of the Almighty Yahweh, that Elohim, will cause his countenance to shine upon you, where you be the substance of him. This is not about no religion, because the children of Yasharel is a nation of people, a nation of him, the seed of him, the strength of him. It don't make a difference what color you are, long as you incline your ear and your heart unto him and come unto him, where he opens up the eyes. Where you once was blind, you can see and hear and walk what he has predestinated for you. He wants us to know these things and abide in these things. See, then when we have the word of him, I hear you, Father. When our ear is open to hear his voice, we can hear the joyful sound. But not only do we hear the joyful sound, but the substance of sight, the substance of strength of Yahweh, the Elohim. Look what it records in Psalm 119, text 130. The entrance of thy words giveth light, it giveth understanding unto the simple. So when you have an ear to hear him, I hear you, Father. When you have an ear to hear him in that quiet time, if you're going through something, call upon him. Call with your heart, not for just asking for something, but asking that he come in your heart and sup with you and change some things, give you freedom, give you clarity, so you can live a life of peace, a life of protection, a life of abundance in his spirit, that you can speak things and they manifest. He wants this to be made known. I hear you, Father. Let's go to 119 of Psalm, which means Telehim. Let's go to text 30 of that. Psalm 119, text 30. See, when we hear something and when you obey it, it's because it's something that you choose. When you, not of the doctrines of men, not the teachings of men, not the religious things, because religion means to be brought back in bondage. When he has set you free, when you have been set free in him, it's something that you love of him, and you love what thy Torah, you love thy instructions, so you can be applied an increase in all of the spiritual things. Then he gives the desires of the heart. Now, look at this particular text of Psalm 119, text 30. I have chosen the way of truth. Thy judgments have I laid before me. See, it's something, whenever you accept or choose something, it's something that you walk in and walk upon. When you hear something, then you take heed and you walk upon in it. Then you speak of it. Then it becomes your daily delight. It becomes your word. It becomes covenant. Not forsaking the statutes and the judgments, but when we have a listening ear, and then we incline our ear so we can open our heart where he can come in. Look what happens in text 32. The heart flows the issues of life. You won't be oppressed. You won't be blind, but you'll be able to see, because he enlarges the heart, because we're running to the commandments, running to and establish the covenant relationship with him. And we take heed by hearing, abiding, and keeping, and doing. And it because I will run the way of thy commandments when thou shalt enlarge my heart. Your heart. And it becomes the substance of your life, because he is first in your life. If you choose him, if you walk in him, if you align to, I hear you, Father, if you align to him in all of that thing. Because guess what? When we look at Telahim, which means Psalm 119 text 2, look what it records. Blessed, which means Barak, are they that keep his testimonies. The testimonies is the word that he said to be and to do, that we receive what? A good report, that we'll be prosperous, not only in the spirit, but in the land of this earth that he has given us to possess. Now, in this particular text of Telahim 119 text 2, it records, blessed are they that keep his testimonies, and that what? Seek him with the whole heart. When we seek him with our whole heart, he enlarges the heart. We walk in the commandments. We walk in the covenant relationship and the instructions, the statutes, the judgments, and the feasts that he has ordained that we walk in them. That's how we become Barak, which means blessed. He wants us to know these things. He don't want us to take them for granted. I hear you, Father. In Telahim 116, text 12. Let's go there real quickly. Telahim 116, text 12. See, when we have the simple thing is, when we incline our ear to hear his word, he comes in. Check this out. He opens our ear where it won't be dull. Then he opens our eyes that we can see. Then he establishes his thoughts in us. He enlarges our heart to be of his heart, where the fullness of his heart becomes within you, me, the believer, the hearer, the doer, the abider of his truth. Now, in this particular text, so in thy strength. So when we do that, it's some benefits that he gives to you. It's some benefits that he allowed to be applied. It's some promises that is released to be the living waters that flow from you because of the obedience towards the Father. He wants it to be made known. He said it's time to stop playing. He said it's time to stop running to and fro. He said it's time to seek him and stay in him. Because when you know of who he is, then you know who you are in him and of him. In Telahim 104, text 34. David knew this. My meditation of him shall be what? Sweet. I hear you, Father. I will be glad in Yahuwah. He makes us glad. He gives us strength. He becomes our substance of life. For questions, comments, or remarks, call in 804-856-1988 on this Let It Shine Sunday on Hot Mix VA Radio. But I have an assignment. Because if you are not inclining your ear unto him, we won't be offended with anything, but because we have the peace, the shalom. But look what it records in Telahim, which means Psalm 104, text 35. Look what it gives an indication of. Let the sinners be consumed out of the earth. Sinners mean those who miss the mark. Those who are not in the obedience of the instructions of the way, the will of the Torah or the law, which Yah said to walk in. It records, let the sinners be consumed out of the earth, and let the wicked be no more. Bless thou Yahuwah, O my soul. Praise ye Yahuwah. So it is a key principle thing. If you want to be Barak, which means blessed, be obedient, incline your ear unto him. Let some things of the past go. It's got some people walking around in this time and day. Some people go to church, they go to anything that is in you that is not of the Almighty's will. I encourage that you seek his face. And seeking his face, he will be found. And in that finding of him, he'll come in and restore. I hear you, Father. He'll come in and restore. He'll come in and renew. If you want to write these different laws and these different statutes down, you can do so right now at this particular time, or you could call in at 804-856-1988, or you can listen to the playback a little bit at a time and write these different laws down. I am not an attorney, but I know of these different laws. I studied them for over 25 years. I like to help people to be aware of their rights, not only in the spiritual aspect, but also in the law of the land, so they can have a freedom of life, a better awareness of life, and live the life of abundance in the spirit as well as the natural. Now, let's get into this. Now, there's 3 laws that I want to speak about along with a whole bunch of other things. But the first subject and part that we're going to be talking about is about late pays on people's credit report. A lot of times on your Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and Innovosis, sometimes a creditor or collection agency might have what you consider a late pay. Late payments are illegal, first and foremost. But there's one law that was passed not that long ago. Now, we all know that it was a major hardship during COVID time. And during COVID time, when it was really hitting hard, the Congress passed a law. And this particular law is underneath of USC Code 1681. So it's 15 USC Code 1681, subsection S, subsection 2. Any payments during COVID-19 are required to be deferred or forgiven. So during that time, if you during that COVID time when it was really hitting and you couldn't really go out, or some people couldn't really go to work or different things like that, Congress has passed a law underneath a federal law underneath for 15 U.S. Code 1681 as subsection 2 that any payments during COVID are required to be deferred or to have your consent or your permission. Underneath for 15 U.S. Code 1681, subsection 4, this is what it records. You have a right to privacy. If you consider your late payments to be private information, they must be deleted from your credit. So if you like, which it is private because it's your sensitive personal information. And underneath for the 1996 data protection laws, you have a right because that is your private, sensitive information. And if they're reporting different things like your date of birth, your whole social security number, even the last 4 of your social security number, people can use those things in the event of fraud or identity theft. So you have to be real cautious and careful, okay? So now, this is another one for you that have your ink pen. Underneath for 15 U.S. Code 1681, subsection A, any transaction between you and the creditors are required to be excluded from your credit report. You have that legal right because you have the right whether or not to consent to something being reported or not being reported, whether it's good or whether it's bad. You have that right, okay? Now, another thing, a lot of times before, a person might have late payments, and then after that late payments, if you don't use none of these different laws, or if you don't do a settle for less, or pay for a deletion, or if you do not use any of these particular laws, then that late pay turns into a collection account or a charge-off account by that particular original creditor, and they pass it on to a third-party debt collector. Now, so always remember this. You don't owe debt collectors nothing, nada. Want to know why? Because you don't have original contract with them. It's not a two-party signed contract. And that particular debt collector have received that particular collection account from a creditor which already have received an insurance claim, a tax claim, and then they are in violation of your privacy right. So underneath of that, always remember this, but this is a deep secret which a lot of people don't know. Anything that's attached to your credit report has what? It has to be and deal with what? Your social security number or your business EIN number or your business TIN number, either particular way. Here is an obligation of the United States under 18 USC Section 8. Once again, under 18 USC Section 8. Anyone attempting to collect a debt tied to your social security number is operating under false pretenses and is guilty under the False Claims Act. The False Claims Act is 31 USC Section 3729. We have to know our laws. Not only the spiritual aspect of the things of truth, but the truth of the land, the constitutional laws and the governing laws to protect you and to free you. Because most people that have a lot of debt, they become oppressed. And they can't see because they can't have the ability to obtain what's needed for them, their family, their children, or their children's children to live a life of necessity. Okay? Now, we'll go another thing that will help us out, okay? After 6 months of missed payments, because you got your 30 days, your 60 days, your 90 days, 120, 180 days, you know, that a lot of people sometimes fall into what you consider a financial hardship, okay? So after 6 months of payments, the bank or that creditor will sell your debts to a debt collector. Check this particular law out. It is illegal for a collection agency to buy your debt and come after you. So if they call you, if they send you a letter or a presentment, it is illegal. And that is illegal underneath for 15 USC 1692, which is an indication of the validation of debts, which means they have to validate or with an affidavit of a verification underneath a Black's dictionary law that they have a contract with you. And they have to do that with an oath and a deposition or an affidavit. An affidavit stands up as truth in commerce of law. So if someone is not addressing something with an affidavit signed underneath a penalty of perjury and they're coming after you to collect a debt and they don't have that, then what they're doing is underneath for false pretenses, and they're trying to induce you for inducement for fraud or corrosion. Okay? Another thing right here. Let's go here. TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, and Innovosis are not considered credit bureaus. They are reporting agencies, which means they collect and sell and share your personal information through all these other different companies that you have to opt yourself out of. So if you opt yourself out of over 763 different database mining companies that collect and sell and share your information, then it makes it a lot easier for you when you send in an affidavit or you send in a registered or certified mail letter to any one of these particular agencies, okay? Now, underneath of 15 USC 1681, Section 604A, Section 2 states, a consumer reporting agency cannot furnish an account without written instructions from you. So if they furnish something on your credit report and it's something that is causing you to have a financial hardship and it's something damaging your reputation or your character without your consent, you can actually sue them for $1,000. Okay? Now, underneath of that, if they don't delete that particular account when you give them written notice or fax notice to them underneath of 15 USC section 1681A subsection W, then you have the legal right to sue them for $1,000 per account, which is civil liability for willful non-compliance and for not removing the account that is in late pay, collection, or charge-off underneath of 15 USC 1601. So always know this: any negative item that a company reports to your credit report without your consent is considered identity theft and fraud. And that's pursuant to 15 USC 1681B subsection 2. So if you have a collection account, even as his report, because a lot of collection accounts report as open, that is illegal. Because if that collection account is reporting as open, that means that that collection third-party debt collector is reporting like you have an installment account with them, which you do not, because you don't have a legal two-party signed contract with them. And it's illegal and a violation of the Federal Trade Commission and must be deleted underneath of 15 USC 1681S subsection 2. Now, I want to get on to something real deep, real quickly, while time is at hand. And this is very deep, very deep. Another thing for violations of third-party acts, if it's a collection account or a late pay or charge-off on your credit report, is this. Always remember, underneath for Title 5 USC 552 is required. That's a mandatory disclosure. They have to disclose to you that it is a legal binding contract between you and two parties, that it has been some type of exchange in full disclosure. Now, underneath of Title 12 of USC 248 and 347 is strict compliance with FAS 125, 133, 140, 5 and 95 is required. And those are different legal ratifications, which is up underneath of adequate assurance of due performance underneath of the Uniform Commercial Code laws. Another thing that I want to say right here is this. This is real deep, real deep. You know, your bills are already paid. All of our bills are already paid. When you get a chance, look at your Social Security card. Not the number that's on the front, but the number that is on the back. That is what you consider your exemption number, your bond number, which is registered with a Federal Reserve Bank. Okay? Now, all your debts can legally be discharged through a 1099-C or a 1099-A. It's no scam, it's no flim-flam, but that is legal truth right there. The U.S. has forms to cancel and discharge and delete debts. See, we have to study. The scripture gives us an indication in Hosea where it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. He was not just speaking about spiritual knowledge, but it was the knowledge to know and to obtain while you're here walking on the earth. So you can walk on the earth and possess the earth with the kingdom, but then also a spiritual awareness and ability to know what is right and know how to live in freedom. Okay? So let me get back to this. So one constitutional law that will really help us and help a lot of people is in 1871, Congress incorporated under the business name the United States. So the United States is what? A corporation. It became incorporated in 1871. So the U.S. is not a country or a state. It is a corporation. And corporations have presidents, vice presidents, secretaries, and etc. So once a state has registered a birth certificate with the U.S. Department, which takes out a loan from the Federal Reserve, you are collateral for debt from foreign investors. We are a stock or a commodity. But it's key things you have to do to free yourself from debt. You are a legal trust. But I'm not going to get into that. So the red, the back of your Social Security number is either going to be a red or blue or black number on your birth certificate, or even on the back of your Social Security card. Your life is valued anywhere between $650,000 to $3 million in your all capital name, which is a state claim entitled to your bond. You are not a person, but a commodity that's underneath of the system. So these are some of the different things to educate you, to help you in your knowledge, not only in the credit ways of life, but in the spiritual ways of life. Have an ear to hear on this Let It Shine Sunday. Hear the Father of truth. Walk in his word, walk in his will, and think on things that are loving and pure, and where you can have a pure heart and ascend and apply the goodness he has created and breathed in you. See you next time on Let It Shine Sunday. Hot Mix VA Radio. Your friend, Apostle Jones. Shalom.